Chad stepped in front of him and immediately shook his hand, pretending to be familiar with this man as he said, "Dr. Reynolds, I didn't expect you to take care of this matter personally." The doctor was a little taken aback by Chad's forwardness. "Yes, well, of course." Dr. Reynolds nodded to him out of curiosity. "Our hospital is responsible for this. We will absolutely try our best to find your daughter." "Thank you very much, but she's not my daughter," Chad said. When Patricia saw this, she couldn't help but be impressed. That young man was everything she wanted in a son-in-law. She assumed Dr. Reynolds was here because of Chad. She hadn't thought that his influence would be so great. She walked to Cicely's side and whispered, "Chad's family has a lot of influence. The hospital staff knew he was here and the president came. He's much more efficient than you-know-who." Cicely leaned on the corner of the room and snorted in a loud voice, "That's for sure. He's not like a certain person. Other than shouting, there's nothing else he can do." She clearly said that for Chase to hear. Of course, it also reached Chad's ears. He was in high spirits. Although he was pretending to be more influential than he really was, he couldn't care less. He was impressing Patricia and Celia. Chase and Dr. Reynolds were the only ones who knew the truth. Even though Chase heard it, he didn't say anything. As for Dr. Reynolds, he was about to say something, but when he saw the look in Chase's eyes, he knew that the young man had enough problems with his family and Reynolds' intervention might only make it worse. He walked around the room and gave Celia some encouragement. "Don't worry, Mrs. Rothman, our hospital will handle this matter. We will find your daughter." "Thank you." Celia nodded gratefully. "And Mrs. Sampson," Dr. Reynolds also shook Patricia's hand and said, "Your granddaughter is going to be fine. We will use every resource at our disposal. Don't worry, everyone here loves her and wants to see her safe." Patricia Sampson's face glowed with happiness. She was honored that the hospital's president had personally come to reassure them. Dr. Reynolds walked around the room, explaining what his staff was doing to find Dottie. Chad really knew how to take credit wherever it appeared. However, Chase was comforting Celia now and couldn't be bothered to confront his rival. When Dr. Reynolds paused, Chase asked, "Sir, can you watch this video of my daughter being taken away? Do you recognize this woman?" The doctor quickly replied, "Let me see." Chase showed him the video he had just copied from the security room. With just one glance, Dr. Reynolds immediately recognized her. "You're talking about this woman in red?" "I've seen her recently, always snooping around the hospital. I don't know what she's doing, but I should have known it was suspicious." This was good news. A lead. If Dr. Reynolds did recognize this woman, it would be easier to identify her. "Sir, I'm currently planning to go to the police station and show them this footage from the camera. Since you know this woman, can you help me identify her?" "Of course." Dr. Reynolds did not hesitate. "I'll go tell my staff I'm stepping out. We'll meet up on the first floor." Chase nodded, and the doctor hurried back to the office. Seeing Dr. Reynolds being so accommodating, Patricia could not help but marvel at the power of Chad's network. She mumbled to herself, "It seems that certain people are going to benefit from Chad once again." Chase smiled and didn't explain anything to her. He quickly left the ward and headed straight for the first floor. However, on the stairs leading that way, he saw the security chief Barry Rappaport again. Beside him was a middle-aged man. Barry saw him and immediately told the man, "It's him, the guy I was telling you about." That guy broke into the security room and viewed footage? Daniel Ludlow, head of the surgery department, had heard Chase that some other guy had nearly started a fight with Barry's men. Chase looked at him silently and frowned in displeasure. "Is there a... You dare to violate the law and steal hospital information? Patient privacy is sacred and you violated it." Barry was shocked and immediately enraged. "I'm the head director of security here. I can handle what happens in my department. Daniel was furious. Mr. Rappaport, if you can't do your job, you could be replaced. And you, Mr. Rothman, if you do anything like that again, I'll have you and your family expelled from this hospital. At this moment, Chase interrupted. If you have anything to say, tell it to this person over here. Daniel was puzzled. However, when he shifted his gaze away from Chase, he instantly understood. This was because a new person now stood on the stairway. Dr. Reynolds. He was so scared that he nearly had a heart attack. In an instant, Dr. Reynolds rushed over and got in Daniel's face. Barry froze for a moment. Dr. Reynolds, it's a big misunderstanding. Dr. Reynolds didn't care about his shock and said respectfully to Chase. Mr. Rothman, I'm sorry I couldn't manage my staff properly. Chase waved his hand. Forget it. I don't want to waste any more time here. This insane scene just keeps repeating itself. With that, he walked down the stairs. Dr. Reynolds knew that he was in a hurry, so he turned around and said to Daniel, You don't need to come to work tomorrow. Or ever again. Then he hurried into the direction Chase went. With just one sentence, Daniel's pride collapsed. His legs weakened and he leaned on the handrail. A few minutes ago, he had been thinking about loitering about in his position until his retirement salary kicked in. In the space of a few minutes, his prestige as the surgery director had been lost. Turning his head to look at Barry, Daniel's face was full of panic. What? What should we do now? Well, Dr. Ludlow, I believe I should escort you from the premises. Daniel flew into a rage and kicked him. This is all your fault! Chase did not look back. That entitled doctor wasn't worth the time. Right now he only had one thought in mind, and that was to find his daughter. At that moment, his phone rang. Because the surveillance footage had already reached Tim when they were in the hospital, he had been searching for traces of the woman. Chase picked up the phone. He didn't expect him to say, Good news, the woman in the video has been found. Chase didn't dare celebrate, though. He immediately asked Dr. Reynolds to get in his car and go to the address Tim had given him, an abandoned building on the south side of the city. It was located in an old industrial park by the river south of the city. Because this was an abandoned site, there were many empty buildings like this one. Following Tim's instructions, Chase, Dr. Reynolds, and Chuck all hurried over. Tim was already there when they arrived. In the room, a woman was sitting in a chair. Seeing the three arrive, Tim hurried to greet them. Where did you find her? Did you find Dottie? Chase asked. Tim replied, Well, we took the surveillance footage to the police to get a comparison. In the end, we locked onto her location and found her in a supermarket. But when we caught her, Dottie was nowhere to be found. We grabbed the woman and questioned her, but she wasn't willing to say anything. First, Chase went to Dr. Reynolds and asked, Can you confirm it is her? He was stunned for a moment, but answered with certainty. Yes, 100%. Although I've only seen her in the cameras, this face is very familiar to the security department. Since they were sure it was her, Chase saw no need to be merciful. Narrowing his eyes, he ordered one of Tim's men. Wake her up.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.